Sports Buzz is here to take all calls and answer all questions about your favorite team, coach, or player, local, regional, and national. Sports Buzz, taking calls and kicking game.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org, Louisville's original live TV sports talk show. We're on every Sunday night, 11 to 12, here taking your phone calls. Our number, 964-2121, the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line. I'm your host, Greg Brom. Joining me tonight, the one and only, legendary, yes, one and will not ever be duplicated.
Thank God for that.
Bob Dominy joins us tonight.
How you doing, man?
It's doing great.
You got new digs.
Absolutely.
We got.
It's like home. It's like sitting on
comfortable
your couch
chairs,
watching the game.
We got new cameras I've never seen before.
And I know, Bob, you probably have nothing to really. You won't. I'll
very
pull
quiet
stuff out of
person.
you. I know you won't have much to say tonight.
I'm a
It
very
wasn't like
quiet
anything
person.
happened in sports this weekend.
That I can think of.
Yeah, nothing too exciting. But I think our phones may be ringing off the hook tonight, though.
You think?
Because Louisville, in 5 overtimes, loses to Notre Dame, 104-101. But the way they lost is going to be a topic of
Don't get me
conversation.
started. Don't get me started.
I think we got to start at the end. At the end of regulation, the end of the first 4, actually all 5 overtimes. And
Louisville had the ball with a chance to win every time.
So let's look at it. They had the ball at the end of the Syracuse game. Georgetown. Then 6 times last night, they had the last possession, 5 of them with a chance to win. The last one with a chance to tie.
Yeah.
So they're 0 for their last 8.
How many timeouts did they take?
Of end of game situations.
How many timeouts did they take, Gregor?
Well, they still have 4 they can use next week.
Yeah, because they didn't use them last night. Anybody sitting around like I was with a bunch of people at the bar and everybody's going, hey, what?
I tell you what, and there is a theory. I mean, coaches say you just let the players continue to play. You don't stop the flow of the game. Maybe you don't give the defense time to set up a defense. But when it hasn't worked, don't you think? I mean, I was sitting there and I was waiting for Rick to call a timeout and set something up to get a decent shot. We really, in these last situations, the last 8 times, I don't know if Louisville's gotten even a good shot one time.
Rick Pitino is a Hall of Fame coach. He sees these kids every day. I would never question him on what he's doing. I mean, the man is going to be a legend. But I hearken back to the only guy I really knew as well as Denny Crum. Do you think Denny Crum would have called the timeout? He'd have used every one he's got to sit there and design a play. And I know there's 2 different philosophies to this.
Well, you remember a couple years ago, I was thinking back to the Marquette comeback. And at the very end of the game, it wasn't just a pick and roll with the point guard driving in the middle and trying to find a shot himself. I remember some movement in the offense. I think Siva hit, it was either Siva or Sosa hit Couric driving on a layup. I mean, there was some type of offensive structure that was going on. But at the end of the games, it seems like the Cards like to stand around and let the guy with the ball just try to go 1-on-4.
So what happened at the end of regulation? We've got 14, 15 seconds left. Russ Smith comes bouncing up the floor, nice and slow, and gets 35 feet and takes a shot. That's the best we could get.
I agree, and maybe some of that has to do with Russ, but I think in general, it seems to me Louisville occasionally they'll wait too long to go, and not that you wait too long to where maybe you don't want the other team to have a chance to score.
I understand that,
but what happens?
You don't have it either.
When I'm watching it, is once you come off that pick and you've left yourself so little time, if anybody runs at you, if anybody obstructs your path, you have no time to adjust and do anything different. You almost have to force the shot.
Well, that was the end of the first overtime when he took one of these shots, because he had no time to do anything else but
that. And so we got somebody on the line already.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, I think they.
I was so upset. I'm glad I wasn't at home. Because if I'd have been at home, I might have thrown something through the television. I'd have been cussing up a storm.
We might reenact that tonight with you showing us what you were doing as we watch some of the video here on the screen.
Well, I was at Drake's over in the Summit. And fortunately, the music was so loud I couldn't be heard because I was not a happy camper.
All right, let's go to Sam on the Osmore Ford Lincoln Buzz line.
Okay. I was just going to say, the other guys don't move because they don't expect to get the ball from Russ.
Yeah.
Russ takes the ball,
yeah.
And he has a one-track mind. I mean, one time he was 3-on-1 on a break and had two guys on the wing he could have dished it to, and he takes it all away.
And that time he probably shouldn't even have tried to even look for the shot. That's the time that Louisville was up by 2, and Russ could have just held it and got fouled. But go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you get the ball with 33 seconds, the shot clock turned off, and you go the length of the court to try to force a shot when you're up by 2 points. Who does that? I mean, you stop, and once you get across the half-court line, and you wait on them to foul you, and you win the game.
No kind of play. No screens. No picks. No rolls. No nothing. Somebody just jack one up. What kind of coaching is that?
No basketball IQ is what it is.
Well, you can't say that about Pitino. He's one of the greatest.
Not Pitino. I'm talking about Russ.
You know what you know.
Well, you know what? And if you watch this show, and Bob will fill you in, I've been one of the biggest Russ guys. I've been on the Russ train.
I didn't like Russ even now.
I didn't think it was a good strategy when the last several weeks Rick has kind of he benched Russ. He's kind of corral Russ's game.
That was the Georgetown game.
Because it's tough to take for a coach. I mean, you abdicate your control to Russ Smith when he's on the court in many ways. But with this team, Bob, and I'm still on the train, even though the overtime period was maybe the worst Russ has ever played here at Louisville, was the 5 overtimes, because he couldn't get his shot. He didn't make bad decisions, or he couldn't make his shot go down. Had bad decisions. But I'm on the train because I think you got to let Russ do that the entire game, not just in overtime. Say, now, Russ, we're going to give it to you. Go win now. No, you got to let him do that and live with the mistakes, because without him scoring about 20 points a game, Louisville cannot score 70 points. When's the last time Louisville scored 70? They're scoring 50 and 60. Go.
I have a question for you. What choice have you got? What choice have you got? Russ is it. There isn't somebody coming off the bench that can do what Russ does. And if he doesn't score, who the heck does?
I think there's a different rule for Russ. You've seen that he'll make terrible mistakes or really silly plays to the normal. If somebody just turned Louisville on for the first time, they'd say, what's this guy doing out there? But over the long term, he makes so many spectacular plays. He scores when no one else is even doing anything.
I agree.
He creates offense when nobody else can. He has no conscience, so he doesn't get scared.
What choice has Patino got?
Well,
I'm on your bandwagon.
I think he needs to
let
him go.
No choices.
I think he needs to let him be as free-flowing as he wants, even during the course of the game, not just the overtime, when Siva fouls out, and you got to let him do it to try to win. But Russ scoring and being a very focal point of the offense means Louisville has a shot to score 70. Otherwise, they don't.
I have another question for you. I'm at a noisy bar situation, and I'm pinching girls' elbows, and so I wasn't paying a ton of attention, although I was watching the whole game, and you know how you are in those situations. How come Blackshear only played 15 minutes? That's the only guy I trust. When he shoots, I think it's going to go in.
He has the best outside shot. You're right. He had one of his better games. I think Luke did get hot.
I said Blackshear. I meant Wayne.
You said Blackshear.
Yeah,
you meant Blackshear.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke Hancock did get hot and had 20 points. I think Luke is the anti-Russ. I actually like when Luke starts because Russ can be himself, and then
anti-Russ.
And then Luke calms Rick down. I like when he's opposed to, he's a juxtaposition to Russ on the court. But that's a good point. Luke didn't play as much as he did the game before. We're taking your calls, 964-2121. Give us a call. Weigh in on Louisville. We're going to talk Kentucky. We'll talk IU. They had a big win today. And we're talking to Bob Diamond. You get a chance to talk with Bob. Call us. This is the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Landscape of sports talk radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz brings you the best local shows and national shows in the area, starting with Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Freak Show with John Renshaw, and Inside the Press Box, as well as high school, college, and professional games. Sick of the same old watered-down sports talk? Look no further than 1450 The Sports Buzz and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.
Here for Joe's OK Bayou. There are two things I've learned in the almost 20 years of doing business. First, every Cajun has their own secret recipe to a good gumbo. And second, I never claim to be better than Mama's cooking. We've been cooking up true Cajun for a long time now, and I think we're starting to win over some moms. Well, there might be a few tough moms out there yet to convince, but we're making progress. Stop in today and see for yourself how we measure up to mom.
Joe's OK by you. It's OK by me. I mean, Mama.
How are you planning for your retirement?
We're more concerned about the return of your money than on it. We're not trying to grow it. We're trying to help you use and enjoy it.
Don't miss Tony Walker Fridays at 1:30 and check us out on the Light 21.3.
Get all the secrets from your favorite local restaurants, Sundays at 4, weeknights at 6. And see them all in high def on Insight Channel 916. Secrets of Louisville chefs on location at all your favorite local hotspots. And Secrets live from Sullivan University's Kitchen Theater. Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs takes you across the state. It's new local TV on the air and online at newlocaltv.com. All local, all positive, and now in HD. Only on Ion 21. Get all the secrets Sundays at 4, weeknights at 6.
The season never ends on the Red Blue Review. At Kentucky, we're covering a national basketball championship.
And it's Louisville's turn next year, right?
It's our turn every week on Red and Blue.
Hold on 1 second. Hello? I'm doing great. How about yourself? I'm just doing a press conference. Where would you like to meet for a drink? Who's we now? Who are we meeting? Jeff Ruby's. I've got to go. I have to go recruiting. I'll give the phone to Bob Dominy and you can ask him, okay? Thank you. Hold on 1 second. Some people want to have a drink with you, Bob. And they want to meet at Jeff Ruby's.
So our viewers tonight are not the only ones wanting to talk to Bob Dominy. I mean, you're a man in demand, hot demand. Who was on the phone, Bob? You got to let us know.
It was a friend of mine's wife, and
interesting.
She called to go to Jeff Ruby's. Well, I was never embarrassed by this. You're too old to be
embarrassed anymore. Did she know she was talking to Rick Pitino?
I don't think she did till the next day. She had no clue what was going on, and you have to put it on airplane mode to keep it from ringing, and I did that. It's the first thing I do so that doesn't happen. And it just didn't go on. And so there it rang. Now, Rick Pitino, 2 weeks later, we're out at Jeff Ruby's, same group. Mm-hmm. And I'm there, and it's the lady who had done the phone conversation. Didn't see Pitino come in. Pitino came over to the table, wanted to meet the lady who was on the other end of the phone call. And somewhere in the conversation, we're having a good time. We've had a good time about all of this. I said, Rick, if you'd have lost that game, I'd still be picking pieces out of my rectal defilet, you know.
Well, that is a press conference clip that will live forever. I hope you know that. Bob Dominy making history once again. Bob Dominy.
Once again.
All right, we're talking Louisville basketball. Louisville up 8 points with 51 seconds to go. And to be frank, they were in control, Bob, for the last 10 minutes of the game. Notre Dame didn't have a field goal for 10 minutes. Louisville's defense was smothering, and then it was a series of great shots by Notre Dame and just some sloppiness by Louisville in the final minute.
They couldn't stop anybody from driving the basket. There are a bunch of guys who are not adept at that sort of thing, and they're just right through the Louisville defense for a layup, and you're going,
I'll tell you one, they did, but one thing I don't want to see anymore is I don't want to see Wayne Blackshear try to take a charge anymore. Just don't do it. He had 3 blocks in the game. That was the first that was a block. I think he doesn't quite understand. I'm sure they'll work on it. That he's just throwing his body into the guy and going to get a foul call. There, you're up 3. You don't even have to take the charge or try to attempt to do it. I'd rather Wayne go for the block shot.
A charge, I want everybody to understand, hurts. It hurts to take a charge.
I mean,
You've got to will yourself to get in front of some huge guy who's about 6'9" and 275. And it hurts. So I don't blame Blackshear. I blame coaching for doing it properly.
Well, and I'm sure it's something as a star at high school players don't take a lot of charges. So I'm sure it's something new to him.
Why hasn't this been covered in individual? Well, don't we have individual coaching every day? How about free throws? Excuse me. Air ball.
Well, exactly. The free throw shooting has really killed Louisville in these close games. It is. Gorgie,
well, they're not good shooters.
They're not. Gorgie, I didn't even want him to get the ball on the press.
Oh, well, I mean, what was that?
Luke threw it in. Why is Gorgie even down there trying to get the ball on the press? I know he was probably setting a
either
pick.
He or Shane just scare me to death.
Get them away from the ball.
And now
in the last
Montrez,
minute.
He scares me to death too. Who the heck do you throw the ball to? You know what they were doing in overtime that Notre Dame hadn't done much of during the game? They were drawing Gorgie out. The switch, which they do, put him on a guard way away from the basket, and then they just drove in. There wasn't anybody to block it. Shane can't get that far off the ground.
Yeah, everything just turned. It really did. The last minute, Louisville, I mean, it's a classic game. But Louisville had so many chances. Let's go to our phone lines. Mike, you're up.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, I'm going to start off by saying I'm a big Kentucky fan, but I'm calling about Rick Pitino. And the comment that I'm going to make is going to go all the way back to the time when Rick Pitino was coaching at Kentucky. And I have just felt from the very beginning that Rick Pitino has never been a coach that could coach in the last minute of a close ball game. That Rick Pitino was the type of coach that had to coach to win by 30. And if he couldn't coach to win by 30, he was going to be in trouble at the end if like I say, if it's a close game. And then after Rick left and Tubby came in at UK, some of the U of L fans were, kind of talking about, Pitino leaving and Tubby coming in, and then Kentucky fans running Tubby off and stuff like that and making comments like that. And I would always tell them, Tubby Smith in the last minute of a ball game and a close game is a great coach, was a great coach. Rick Pitino in the last minute of a tight ball game is a terrible coach.
Coach Pitino, Mike said that. We didn't say that.
Well, I'm saying it because I've seen it too many times. I think Pitino plays to win. I think that's the reason why he plays the style of ball that he plays, the press and everything to try to win big. When it gets to the end of the ball game, that it's not close. And but I think that Tubby Smith is a better last minute coach than Rick Pitino ever thought about being.
Well, decent points there by Mike, and I do think after seeing how it's been transpiring, I would expect the next time at the end of the game that Rick will call timeout.
You think?
Set something up, because when it's just not working, you've got to do something different. Another thing, too, is Siva, and now I don't want to see this anymore either. I don't want to see at the end of the game Siva come off the pick and roll and throw the ball inside to Gorgie. He cannot catch the ball in traffic.
Well, there's been too many examples. What have we had, 3 or 4 now near the end of the game experiences in which he dumbles the ball?
Yeah, I mean, he, in traffic trying to catch it, if that position on the floor is going to have to catch a pass in that situation, switch Shane to that position. Or somebody who has a little better handle of it when you got guys slapping all around the ball. I don't know. I've just seen that a couple times now, and I don't want to see it anymore.
Well, let me make sure. We're making a lot of comments here about young men that I really like. I really love going to that locker room. I love the kids. We're just being critical of the style of basketball and not the kids.
Oh, absolutely. And what's the status of this team right now, Bob? I mean, 7-4 in the Big East. I think a lot of fans coming into the year were looking number 1 seed. We won a number 1 seed. Big East is tough. Big East is tough.
Not as tough as the Big Ten.
Not as tough as the Big Ten, but it's deep. It's deep too. So there's a lot of potential losses on the schedule.
Still left on the schedule.
I predicted 12-6. What's your prediction for Big East play? I said 12-6, and a lot of our callers said that'd be a terrible Big East conference record. And I go, well, it's not what we expected, but look, we got to Louisville's go to Syracuse.
Top 4 seeds.
They got to go to Syracuse.
Yeah.
You got Cincinnati at home.
But I don't think Cincinnati's unbeatable. I don't think there isn't anybody in this country that I think Louisville can't beat. I still think there's 8 or 10 teams who can beat them as well.
Absolutely. And it's all about March, I think, with this Louisville team.
Hey, and don't forget, Notre Dame almost never loses at home. Never, never, never. So if we would have won there last night, if Louisville would have won there last night, we'd be calling it an upset of some sorts.
We'd be calling, if any one of those 5 situations at the end of the game goes Louisville's way, we're talking about Louisville again as there. As you know what, they've turned it around. If one of those situations would have come to fruition, but it didn't. Louisville loses 104-101. We're taking your calls. 964-2121, the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Smart shopper, 'cause this is how you roll. You love your car, it's your best friend. There's one thing that you know. Before you drive around in any city or town, you want to show her up, you know. Yeah, this is how you roll. That's what we're all about. Smart shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
Small in size takes the prize. Rally's new flavor-loaded boxes with fish bites or chicken bites. Top off the box with seasoned fries. Your choice, fish or chicken, just $2. Rally's, feast on. It's a breakthrough at the drive-thru. Rally's new loaded potato skins, seasoned like our famous fries, covered with creamy cheese, Cool Ranch, and crispy bacon. Loaded up right, ready to roll at the only place that's got them to go. Rally.
I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs, and some people tell me personal injury law is all about the money. Well, they're right. It's about money to rebuild a woman's face shattered by a drunk driver. College money for 2 boys, their dad killed by a reckless trucker. Money for a mom's physical therapy after she was hit by a driver texting. Yes, it is about the money. Money to help people put their lives back together. If you're hurt, call me, Daryl Isaacs, 1-800-CAR.
We're back. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org. Taking your calls 964-2121. Greg Brown along with Bob Dominy. And up first is Terry. She's our most loyal caller, Bob. Terry calls us every single week. Hey, Terry.
Hi. I got a few things to say. First of all, when you saw that Grant guy come back the first time, you said, okay, let's see if he'll do it a second time. He come back a second time. Sometimes the players have to think for themselves and say, hey, let's somebody foul him before he gets across that line. Then that way he wouldn't have been able to shoot a 3. He would have had to shoot a 2. And somebody, rebound. I can't stand I don't know how many times I'm tired of watching them not rebounding. Yep. And then on top of that, I read a lot of articles. Everybody blamed Russ for losing this game, because he's standing there, hold the ball, and kept shooting 3. My thing is with Russ, Rick should have stopped it. Russ wasn't hot the whole game.
No.
Blackshear was, and Luke was. So, you know, he shouldn't even had Russ holding it to shoot a three-point. If Russ was going to do the last minute, he should have went in and tried to get foul. And as far as losing this game, they all lost it because they all lost at the foul line. That's it.
That's lots of good points there by Terry. You know, Russ, I think part of that is waiting too long to make your move to the basket. You're right. Somebody take it to the rim and try to get fouled.
Yeah, that's what I didn't get.
Russ
You're
is good at that,
tied.
too.
You got nothing to lose. Go to the basket. Get fouled. Unless you're Montrezl Harrell, then we know what that is.
And, you know, the rebounding, Notre Dame got a couple of tip baskets in the extra
They
period.
controlled the rebounding. In
Sherman
fact,
gets 17 points. And he didn't even
None
check in
in
until the
regulation.
overtime. He didn't even play.
Who is this guy?
Until the overtime. And 17 points, a lot of them on those inside buckets and tips. You know, it just seemed like...
Louisville looked awfully small and terribly unathletic, didn't they, when Notre Dame started rebounding, got all the loose balls?
Yeah, it seemed like every ball that got on a Louisville player's hands in the overtimes slipped through the fingers. Notre Dame guys are getting all the loose balls, all the loose rebounds. So, I mean, it all went, I mean, every play that Notre Dame needed, every single one of those plays to go their way, and they did at the end of the game. So maybe it's, you know, Louisville will grow from the game, but you hate to see I think that the practices now, hey, for a week, practice the end of game situations, period, because you're going to have to win one in March, just like that one last night, for sure. Let's go on the line. Let's go to Kevin.
Yeah.
You're up, Kevin.
Well, the one thing that from last year's team is Swapshire. If you notice, after he announced he was leaving, it's like all the stress was taken off him. He seemed like he was trapped, you know, in the Pitino system or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, he's doing great at Northwestern, and he seems to be freer to do what he wants to do. At Northwestern, he's a great player. I mean, he's a guy who can create his own shot, who's a good shooter, who Northwestern needs. I don't think there was ever a need for Jared Swapshire at Louisville.
Although last year he was an important cog in the tournament.
Thinking they had Kyle Keurig last year.
He played a lot. And
somebody who could shoot where you went, that might go in.
Well, Swap could actually shoot. You're looking at this team now, they don't have any outside shooting. The defense is what's going to win them, get them to the Final Four if they get there. It's going to be the defense.
What happened to the defense in overtime? They stopped Notre Dame not at all after leading, 70-6? No, what was it?
Notre Dame scored 44 points in the overtime. Yeah. So 25 minutes, 44 points. That's a lot against Louisville because they only scored 60
What happened to this vaunted defense? They were hitting layups, too, or putbacks, or tipbacks.
All right, let's go to Mike. You're up.
Yeah, I called a little bit ago and didn't get to finish what I was saying before somebody hung up on me. So I wanted to call back and finish
what
I was
were you saying there, Mike? Go ahead.
Okay, the question that I was talking about was comparing Rick Pitino and Tubby Smith as far as the last-minute coach. And the question I've got is, you know, you got Tom Crean, you got Cal, you got Pitino, and you got Tubby Smith. Who in that group is the best last-minute of the game coach?
Denny Crum. Denny Crum is the best final 2-minute guy I've ever known. Yeah. I haven't known them all, but he's the best guy.
Well, I kind of disagree with that because of the fact that he was usually always fighting with his players in the last 2 minutes.
Who are you talking? Mike, I don't know. Denny? I don't think Denny was fighting with his players.
Denny doesn't fight with anybody.
Yeah, I don't remember that
talking about Denny Crum,
happening ever. But Mike, thanks for your call. But last 2 minutes now, I like Izzo. Izzo's probably he's a good last.
Izzo's good at about everything.
Brad
he
Stevens
keeps taking guys.
Is a guy I'd take in the last 2 minutes. Or last minute.
Guy from Gonzaga. You know, he's another one.
Yeah. Mark Few. Mike is a Kentucky fan, and we haven't touched on Kentucky yet. Now, they won again yesterday. Kind of a bruising game against Auburn. 5 straight wins for the Cats. Now, do you think they've righted the ship? I mean, does this mean that they're a threat?
No. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be the number one team, a number one seed or number two seed in the country and have Kentucky on my schedule. No way.
No, you don't want to see them as
I mean, that's a very, very talented team who can explode on anybody. But have they gotten better? I heard this from late December. Oh, they're young. They're going to get better. They're going to be good. I don't see it. Nerlens Noel is carrying their butts.
His emergence, I think, has lifted them.
No doubt.
I mean, look at the Ole Miss game with all the block shots that he had in that game. I think the test for this team is Florida at home. If they beat Florida at home, I'm willing to say, you know what, they're legit threat to make noise.
If
in the
they
tournament.
don't, they're a 10th seed at best.
Do you think? I think they're going to win enough games.
If they win enough games, they're
to be
8th seed maybe.
Do you? I think if they beat Florida at home, they're going to have an SEC
Ooh, I
record that
hear
looks
this.
like.
Where are you going to put them?
Oh, they'll be an 8 regardless. They won't. They'll be an 8 or 9.
So you think they could be better?
Yeah, I think they
if
can.
they ran
yes.
out the season,
they'll be
won the SEC tournament. What?
Oh, they're a 6.
Ooh.
5 or a 6 if they do that. Oh, they're going to have a gaudy-looking record. When you go to look at their SEC record at the end of the year, they're going to have like 11 or 12 wins. If they beat Florida at home, get to the SEC final, they're a 7 seed. 7, 8 at the worst.
Mr. Brown. Do you think Alex Poitras right now, what you've seen, he's a pro?
Do you
think Archie Goodwin, with what you've seen, the body of work, is a pro?
I mean, they're not
you're
ready,
already
but they're going to get drafted.
Harrow isn't probably going to go. Wiltshire isn't going to go. If Poitras and Goodwin don't go,
they're going.
They got 5 kids coming in. Those kids are going to sit the bench.
Well, that's why they're going.
That's why they're going, not because that they deserve it. They're going to wind up in the D League the way they're playing.
Before we go to break, how far do you think UK? What's their ceiling in the NCAA tournament? What's their how far could they go?
Second round.
Second round. You know what? I think they're the Sweet 16.
And I'm telling you what,
team.
if they wind up a 10 seed or even an 8 seed, they're going to face some tough competition early, and then a 1st or 2nd seed.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's over.
Yeah. Okay. We're taking your calls, 964-2121. When we come back, we're going to talk to Oscar. I don't know if that's my dad or not. There's not many of you out there, but we'll see who it is on the other side. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Three out of 4 Americans know they need life insurance, and many who have it know they don't have enough. Sound like you? You can guarantee those you love $200, $500, $750,000 or more with life insurance through Matrix Direct. Just look, less than $16 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price.
Call 800-893-4667 or go to matrixdirect.com. That's 800-893-4667.
How are you planning for your retirement?
We're more concerned about the return of your money than on it. We're not trying to grow it. We're trying to help you use and enjoy it.
Don't miss Tony Walker Fridays at 1:30 and check us out on the Light 21.3.
The season never ends on the Red and Blue Review. At Kentucky, we're covering a national basketball championship.
And it's Louisville's turn next year, right?
It's our turn every week on Red and Blue.
If you like the Sunday Sports Buzz, make sure you tune in during the week, 1450 The Sports Buzz. On Tuesdays and Fridays, I call in Mason and Myers in the morning, Rashawn Myers, Jeff Mason, the odd couple of local radio, Louisville and Kentucky going at it every morning. And I'm there Tuesdays and Fridays. It's brought to you by InsureMax. Chad and Alan Hennessy, a great football family. A great Trinity family, 479-4085. They'll take care of you all your home, life, and auto needs. And I'm with Bob Dominy tonight. Fortunate to have the legendary Dominy with me. And you're looking now at our lineup on 1450 throughout the week, Bob. Mason and Myers, Dan Patrick, we got the Cards and Cats covered throughout the day. And you, from 3 to 4 every weekday on 1570, have your own show. Tell us a little bit about that.
By the way, call in. I could use some of the phone callers you get.
We'll warm them up for you. Make sure you give Bob a call and talk about it all week long.
I'll argue with you. We'll have a good time.
Absolutely. Bob doesn't tiptoe around any issues at all. He has an opinion. There's no doubt about it. Let's go to Oscar on the phone. Hey, Oscar.
Oh, how you doing today?
Good. No, that's not my dad.
Okay.
But
no, it's not. Sorry.
There's not many Oscars out there.
Yes, it is. Well, I just know one, and my dad. What I'm calling for, I concur with what the guy called you about probably last week when he said Rick Pitino. I don't know. It seems like to me when you get them players, they good when they come in, and after you've been there for a while, they send you when they get worse. And all the time he's unhide since he's been there, he at least should have won at least 2 NCAA championships by now. Benny Prom was there. I know he won at least 1 by now. And I just don't understand his play calling sometimes. I mean, he had, 3-4 timeouts last night and didn't use 1. And when stuff get tight, it seems like he just chokes up. And Gorky needs to get a heart. If he had the heart that Ellis Miles had when he was there, he'd be a whole lot better than what he is now.
Yeah. Well, Ellis was one of a kind. He was only, 6'6".
Yeah,
and built big, but not that big. He wasn't a truck or anything.
He was an enforcer. Ellis was.
Yeah, he didn't take any guff.
Yeah,
but that's a philosophy of Pitino's. He learned it in the pros. Let him go. Don't let the defense set up. Go. It hadn't worked that I've seen.
It's over its last 8. I do know that at the end of game situations. I know people like to jump on Rick, but I mean, what he did last year, and I'll back.
He's a Hall of Fame coach.
Two Final Fours, multiple Elite Eights, and now it seems like the window is there right now to have maybe a special type of run for a couple of years. But this year's team, Bob, seed projections. What do you think they can even hope to have? I mean, I'm looking at it. I just hope they avoid the 4-5 line.
Yeah,
I hope even though they went to the Final Four from the 4 seed
they're
last
starting
year.
to mess with the 3 and 4 now after that loss. They can't afford any more of these losses and not get into that 4-5.
Yeah, I want to avoid that 4-5. Keep me in the 3. I mean, now I'll live with a 3 and be happy with it. I'll take it. If you gave it to me now, I'd take it.
After everybody said 1, we're going to be a 1 seed.
Now, other teams are losing too, but Louisville probably might have, with the tough Big East, a few too many losses by the end of the year to get a 1 or 2.
Did you have a chance to see Indiana today?
I saw a little bit of it. That was an impressive win.
Whoa.
At Ohio State. That team, they're
How
one
do you
of the,
lose at Illinois? The way they lost that game at Illinois. How can you do that?
What a great
and come back with an unbelievable effort today.
Talk about a play to finish the game. An end-of-game play. How about Illinois' inbounds play?
I mean, all alone. There wasn't anybody within 12 feet of that layup.
Oh, and Indiana is one of the top. We'll talk about it in a minute. I think they're one of the top 4 teams, and we'll talk about it. I want to get your opinion on that. Let's get to some callers. Brian, you're up. Or who do I have next? I can't read my own writing. Kelly, let's go to Kelly. Dennis, it's Dennis. That's who it is. Dennis, thank you. Dennis,
hey, how you doing, man? Long-time U of L fan?
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to comment about the UK fan who said Pitino couldn't win the close game. I mean, look how many games he's won in his career, and where would UK be at if Pitino hadn't came there?
But I mean,
would they still be as prosperous as they are now? I mean, I'd like to hear y'all's ideas on that.
I think Mike did have an agenda to bash Pitino a little bit.
But I think Mike
call.
makes a point. The point I was going to make a little bit ago is that every coach would like to think he does everything the best. But Cal is a recruiter and a motivator. Pitino is an instructor. Crum was a last-minute coach. Crum didn't do things the other guys didn't do well. But he could coach at the end of a game. I think each coach has his thing, and I think Pitino is a great instructor.
Well, I think he's great. He's got a great system that he puts the system in place. He knows the ins and outs of it, every detail, and he lets it run itself.
Wait a minute,
most of the
you
time.
mean defensively or offensively?
Well, it used to be. Remember when Patino was the 3-point, the Bombinos?
Yeah, well, that was 2 decades ago.
Well, I know. Now it's a defensive team. It's like Pat Riley when he went from Showtime to the Knicks.
But what do you see from the Louisville offense from game to game to game? I'm always confused as what the heck is going on.
Yeah, well,
it always seems to be.
It's an offense predicated on 3-point shooting, and there's been no recruitment of shooters.
And then somebody take a shot.
Yes.
Now, there have been some back doors that have looked good lately. Gorky hitting back doors have been good.
Louisville can't get 70 points anymore. That's the problem. I mean, they need to have to put some type of have a jolt to that offense.
Who shoots where you go, that's going to go in like you did with Curie?
Yeah, they don't have
Blackshear, but the rest of them.
If he hits his first, he's going to hit a bunch of them.
Hancock's getting better, but do you really feel like it's going in?
You don't feel confident with any of them shooting. They're getting their points when they off defense.
Yes.
When they get a steal, they get a turnover.
They need to get some.
It needs to look like a scramble. The game needs to look chaotic. In that type of game, Louisville is the best in that type of game. Let's go to Kelly. You're up.
Hello.
Hi, Kel.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Couple comments. I have to keep jumping on the Patino bandwagon here, but when Patino was successful, he always had an X and O guy. He had Kevin Willard, Mick Cronin, early years, and they always was the ones with X and O guys. Patino's always been a conditioning coach. Even go back to Kentucky, he had George Feldenherb, Sidneck, or Tubby Smith, who always set the plays for him. So Patino's never been an in-the-game situation coach. He's always had you in condition to win, but he always had an X and O guy on the bench. Secondly, what's going on with this year's team, Bohannon, he's been able to score, but his hands are terrible. Something's going on with that. Thanks for your time, Bob. Thank you, Greg.
How'd you like to be a coach? Last year at almost the same time, we were going through this same thing. Patino can't coach worth a blah, 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 blah. And then they had the end of the season run, go to the Final Four. Patino's the best coach in the world.
Exactly. And when you talk about end of game, I mean, against Florida, they were down 12. And you talk about winning the end of the game.
Yeah.
Patino won the end of the game in that particular in that Elite Eight contest. So, I mean, it's not like it hasn't. He's never done it. The guy's done it plenty of times.
Well, you don't win 700 and some.
This stretch here, though, the next time you got to have a timeout and you got to draw something up because
think he'll do
it.
Or will he be stubborn enough to say, "I'm me. I'm a Hall of Fame coach, and I'll do what I damn please. I don't care what Greg Baum says."
He won't do it. He definitely going to do what I say.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to James.
Hello. Hi, guys. I turned in a little bit late tonight, so I may have missed the answer to this question, but I got a couple of them. First, what happened to Montrezl Harrell? Why was he not playing last night as much?
Okay.
Well, Shane had a big night. I mean, what did he wind up with, 30 points?
No,
that includes
Montrezl
overtime and everything. So that may have had something to do with Montrez not playing as much. My bigger question is, what happened to Blackshear?
Yeah.
Why wasn't he playing a lot more?
Luke was playing well.
That well that you don't put your leading scorer from the game before in there? The guy who can rebound? The guy who plays position defense?
He's had 3 really good games this year. To me, I'm not a believer yet. I need more consistency.
You're a believer in Luke Hancock?
Luke was hot.
What did you say when we were off the air? You had a great comment.
Luke is the anti-Russ. And I like when he's the anti-Russ. So here's the calming influence, and it allows Russ to go a little crazy because Luke's out there. I like
Blackshear's not exactly out of control.
Yeah,
I think he's very much in control.
But he disappears sometimes, and he's either making a big impact or he's not doing a whole lot.
So
yet.
Your observation was last night that
I didn't have a problem with Blackshear not
making
being out there as much.
an impact, or you think Patino fell in love with Hancock in that situation?
I think Hancock got in and was hitting threes. Needed some offense. I think Hancock was playing well, and I see what you mean on the Harrell thing. Shane's playing well. He needs to be shooting free throws right now, I hope. Okay, we'll take a break. The Sunday Sports Buzz. We'll be back in a moment. Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Sports Buzz will return after these messages from our sponsors.
Smart shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
Get everything you need to make that old ride look new again at Smart Shoppers, the region's largest auto body supplier, providing you the full line of professional-grade materials at the best prices around. Paint like the pros with a full line of House of Color paint products, only at
Smart Shoppers, 'cause this is how you roll.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Don't let computer problems get you down. Call Igloo On-Site Computer Repair. Our award-winning service staff can help you, residential or business. Drop off or on-site, we can fix it. Igloo On-Site Computer Repair. Visit us online or call us to schedule an appointment today.
I thought all cleaning services were the same until Molly made my carpets fresh, until Molly made my bathroom glow, until Molly made my kitchen shine. I thought all cleaning services were too expensive until Molly made my day. Now, meet the cleaning professionals that work as hard as you do. Call this number for your free in-home consultation and customized estimate. Wow, Molly Maid was here.
Are here every Sunday night, 11 to 12, taking your phone calls, 964-2121. And Bob Dominy is on 1570 every day taking your calls.
3 to
4. 3 to 4. He'll be talking about these basketball games tomorrow, throughout the week. Louisville with St. John's on Thursday, Kentucky with Florida, going to Gainesville on Tuesday night.
They know I'll be really nice to them. I'm not controversial whatsoever.
Whatsoever. Bob would never, ever try to offend anybody.
Oh, no.
All right. Before I go to the calls, Bob, we've had a lot of upsets. A lot of storming the court. A lot of number ones going down.
Oh, 5 weeks in a
Who
row.
are your best 4 teams in the country right now?
You got to like Duke. I wish Kelly was healthy. I could like them a lot more if that were the case.
They squeaked one out.
You got to like
today.
Krzyzewski at the head of that group. And you got to like the experience that they've had, when it comes down to NCAA time. I like Indiana. I've always liked Indiana. I think they got the kind of kids that can shoot it out. They're starting to play better defense. I think they've got another element in Oladipo that's come a lot further than they could have expected him to be. And so I like Indiana. Have you had a chance to watch Miami?
Yes, they're on my list too.
They can shoot. Whoa, and I mean from deep.
ACC.
What I worry is live by the sword, die by the sword. And, if they're not hitting some nights, they're going to get beat in the tournament. So going to and winning it all is probably a little much to ask of Miami. And then I'm telling you, the AP voters may very well make Gonzaga number 2 this week. Are they that good? I'll put them in my 4 because I haven't got anybody else.
And I haven't really watched them, but I just hearing their name, Gonzaga, I'd be more afraid of Butler in the tournament than Gonzaga.
They're similar, though.
They're similar, but I'd be more Gonzaga. I'm going to keep them out of the top 4 right now.
Oh yeah, who have you got?
I need more. The only one I'd put Michigan still in there. I know they lost to Wisconsin, but it was a miraculous.
I don't think they've got a
shot.
center they can depend on. Robinson tends to come and go. Gotta love Burke, and you gotta love Hardaway.
I love those guys.
I mean, they're terrific.
I'll go with Michigan. You know what? Louisville still got it. When I looked at the teams ahead of Louisville in the AP poll, Louisville's got a chance to get back up in there.
Louisville can beat anybody in the country.
They can.
Anybody.
They'll make
they
you
can
look
also
bad.
lose to 8 or 10 teams
They'll
in
make
the country.
everyone look bad and play an ugly game, and that's why Louisville, if they can play chaotic, scramble, ugly up the game,
they got a chance to win any one of those games. The trouble with that is they got a chance to lose any one of those games, too.
Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. We got our man, Handsome. I know you got an opinion about the game last night.
Greg, you got a guy sitting right there, and everybody likes to be like Bob Dummer. You kidding me?
Yeah.
There's
usually a lovely female on that other side.
Had a phone accident with Coach Pitino. Turn your damn phone off. I mean, I know you don't hate to, it just happens. But,
that's pretty funny, wasn't it, James?
Hey, seriously, I mean, Bobby last night was just crazy. I mean, should have won the game, and we didn't. And that guy, Mike, called him. Hey, Bob, you've been around a lot of coaches. Great gift, too. Oh, just give Coach Crum 15 seconds. That's all he needed. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, he's going to design a play and get a bucket. I mean,
Jimmy, don't you think he's got to call a timeout? He's got to call a timeout.
Oh, Bobby, are you kidding me? Please.
He may not. I'm telling you. He may wind up not calling a timeout. Just spite everybody. I'm the damn coach here, and I'll do what I please.
You know, and I bet you was out of your mind, because I know how you feel about setting up a play and get a timeout. But, you know, Bob and Greg, I looked at the schedule. All right, you know, just say, you know, we went out and we go 26-5. I know we got Syracuse. I mean, and DePaul on the road in South Florida, but them was all winnable games too. But we go 26-5, and maybe win the Big East tournament. I mean, we can still maybe get a one. I mean, definitely a 2 seed. Don't you agree to that? And
win the Big East tournament, I agree with.
They're a 2 seed.
Win the Big East tournament.
Don't win the Big East. Say get down to the final or the semifinal. Don't screw up with somebody as the season goes on. Lose to somebody you shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be a 3.
Hey,
could go to a 4 if they screw
talking
up.
about Luke.
Yeah,
no offense. I mean, I know you rain high on Blackshear. I think you might think he's a little bit overrated. But like comparing Luke Hancock to Wayne Blackshear, it's like comparing my idol to Eric Watts. Eric Watts had no shot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Wayne Blackshear's got a shot. Luke was 4 for 16. Are you kidding me? And like Bob said, he got a few rebounds last night, but he's not exact. If Luke ain't hitting, what else does he give you? Greg and Bob, always a great time. Nice talking to you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
Well, you guys are making a point that Wayne, the minutes should have been there.
The only guy I trust anymore. I like Luke, and I like what he has to offer, but he doesn't always offer it. Although he's been fine on defense, and he's been rebounding the ball. I just think Wayne does it better.
I think Luke has found a little where he fits, at least. Yes, a niche.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to just refine that and continue. I mean, that's going to be his role on this team, is to just calm it down when it gets a little bit out of hand.
Talking about Luke.
Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Talking about Luke. But Wayne, they need more explosiveness, like the 19 points he got the other night. They need more of that from Wayne. I mean, that would put him over the top, or that last little bit that they need to make that run. For sure.
We haven't even talked Sugar Bowl yet, and we've been a while.
Oh, I tell you what you were there?
Yeah. First time in my life.
All your bowl experiences.
I got to be a fan.
Let me ask you. That was the greatest bowl experience I think I've ever. As far as a fan event, it was a pilgrimage.
You think it was the most important victory in U of L football history?
No, it wasn't the most important.
Because the two young guys that are on the show with me, they all say, that's the best win ever. I said, no. 1991 was pretty important to the program at the time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the most important, but it's right. I mean, it'd be 2, maybe.
Yes. Oh, there's no question. Is it 1 or 2? That's the only question.
Yeah. Now, Louisville.
The Orange Bowl's not in there.
Yeah, because of the opponent.
Right.
At the time, Wake Forest, it didn't mean as much because of the
crowd,
main brand of Florida.
The Louisville crowd was spectacular.
It was a religious experience for the fans.
It really was.
It really was.
And they were into it the entire game. They were. The
first play helped.
I hope the players and the coaches appreciated it because they were
roof came
nuts.
off that place on the first play.
But didn't everybody? If you were watching the game on television, I was there at the game and saw everybody else. When they intercepted that ball and went down and scored, everybody was. You couldn't believe it.
Oh.
It was like, really? Yeah. Did I just see what I saw?
Let's get to a couple callers here to close the show out. Tim, you're up.
Yes. Good to see Greg and good to see Bill. I'm 52 years old, man. I'm an old Denny Crum lover.
Yeah.
I played at Durham High School under Bob Redmond in football. And, I don't know about the Louisville Nation, but to me, I just feel that Rick has underachieved. when I look at the development of bigs, you know, to see this team possession after possession, everything stems from these two guards that's trying to come off of a high pick and roll. And you got a point guard who, if he doesn't get to the rack, as far as I'm concerned, he's irrelevant. He can't pull up with a floater. He can't pull up, take the little 7 to 10 foot jump shot. The problem that I'm having with this team, when I looked at this year coming in, I said, wow, we're going to be big. Cal Kirk's gone. Chris Smith is gone. I've watched them guys break their necks to defend big guys so much bigger than them. I think that we spend too much time on the defensive end trying to create a turnover to generate offense. When you look at that game last night, they had no bench. Everybody was wore down.
Yeah. Tim, I'm going to just cut, just because we got 30 seconds left in the show, let Bob react to that a little bit. And in the fact of Siva, he's kind of, they're not getting the production from him that they
but
really
I think
need.
He's the glue that hangs them together. Whether he scores at all is irrelevant at this point.
Well, I think he needs to score more.
Because every time he shoots, he scares me to death unless he's driving the basket. And he hadn't been doing that very well, but he still controls the offense.
Well, he definitely has to stay on the floor. I mean,
and
I don't blame him
for cause chaos on the defensive end.
I don't blame him for fouling out in overtime. No. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But he has to stay on the floor during
he
regulation.
He has to because you need him so bad. You're making my point.
Well, and then Russ has to make an extended appearance at point guard, which will drive Rick nuts.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Bob Dominy, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
I'll see
sir.
you soon. We're going to have you back.
All right, it's a deal.
All right. We'll see you next week. Sunday Sports Buzz presented by livingforless.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Landscape of sports talk radio has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz brings you the best local shows and national shows in the area, starting with Mason and Myers in the morning, The Dan Patrick Show, The Freak Show with John Renshaw, and Inside the Press Box, as well as high school, college, and professional games. Sick of the same old watered-down sports talk? Look no further than 1450 The Sports Buzz and 1450thesportsbuzz.com.
Joe here for Joe's OK Bayou. There are two things I've learned in the almost 20 years of doing business. First, every Cajun has their own secret recipe to a good gumbo. And second, I never claim to be better than Mama's cooking. We've been cooking up true Cajun for a long time now, and I think we're starting to win over some moms. Well, there might be a few tough moms out there yet to convince, but we're making progress. Stop in today and see for yourself how we measure up to moms.
Joe's okay by you. It's okay by me. I mean, Mama.
Look back on a lifetime, you remember the things that sometimes you may have felt like they did not make a great difference. And then you realize the legacy you have created is more than you ever imagined. However you want your legacy remembered, we can help. You'll be remembered and honored at Louisville's newest memorial park, Crosswater Gardens Cemetery and Memorial Park, helping people just like you display their legacy for generations to come.